Hi guys, welcome back to the D&E Unfiltered channel. Today we're going to talk about the second week after the hip replacement surgery of Dennis. So let's get started.
Week two in the books. Week two started with me trying to, again, I bring this up before, trying to make sure I curtailed my usage of the oxycodone. Really around day six, I cut off my usage of the oxy and started only using Tylenol extra strength, Tylenol, to try and convert over to it. That happened day six, day seven. So starting last week, I was strictly oxy free. Tylenol, I was using it only as needed, which is maybe in the mornings or right before bed. During the day, as I'm doing my activities, really didn't need it that much. One of the things I continued to do through my course of the week, last week, was doing my exercises. I would try and do a set of organized exercises in the morning and then try and do another set in the afternoons. Some days it was easier than others, but I tried to maintain that through the course of the week. Maybe I overdid a little bit occasionally, but hey, I feel good about my effort. The sleeping was kind of up and down last week. I had some issues Monday, Tuesday with a muscle spasm at 2 o'clock in the morning where my leg just started kicking like crazy, 6 or 7 kicks. I'm talking like major up and down, to where it woke her up, and it definitely woke me up and scared me. Where I woke up, tried to make it stop in my head, but it just kept going. At that point, when it stopped, I was worried that I hurt myself. So I got up, went to the bathroom, used the bathroom, didn't see any blood or anything. Uh, kind of inspected the area to see if anything was wrong. Visually, no. Walking back and forth, there was no pain. So I kind of was like, okay, but in my mind, I was scared. I was like, oh shoot, I hope I didn't really hurt myself because of that spasm. And it took several hours for me to go back to sleep just because my brain was working at that. The next night, not as violent as the first night, but it did happen again, but only a few of them this time. So,
Can I say something?
sure.
And I think this is due to because he hasn't been taking the muscle relaxer medication.
The muscle relaxers, I really didn't feel like they did me any good. When I took them during the first week, I didn't feel any effect. It didn't do anything to help me sleep or not sleep. So I just felt like that was unnecessary. So that may have led to some of the convulsions that I had on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday night before bed, I did, my muscle relaxers are 5 milligram. So, in talking to my physical therapist and my nurse, who comes to maybe taking two instead of one because it's only 5 milligrams. So, on Wednesday, I took two and was able to sleep the whole night through. But then again, that could have been because I was exhausted from the previous 2 nights not getting enough sleep. But I did attribute that to the muscle relaxers, and have continued to take a couple of them before I go to sleep every night. Not during the day, but just at night before bed to make sure that I keep it relaxed so I don't hurt myself and move on with my sleep. On Wednesday and Thursday, Era decided to take the puppy out for a walk. The first
You
day,
don't have a puppy.
I was the puppy.
He felt like a puppy.
Felt like I was trapped in the house like a puppy, just looking out the window and everybody walking by. So, but I hadn't been out of the house. I've only been strictly staying inside and moving around doing all the exercise inside. So she was nice enough to walk with me down to the mailbox. Now, I must preface this by saying I've not used any walker or cane since the end of week one. All of last week, I didn't require a cane or a walker or anything because there was really little to no pain in my hip. So I was doing my exercise and doing my walking without those apparatus. But in walking down to the mailbox, I took a cane with me on the first day just in case. I didn't want to get out there and get really tired or hurt myself or trip on something and not be able to help myself. But most of the time, I was just carrying. We walked the first day probably about a little over a half a mile, 6/10 according to my walker, according to my phone. The next day we went. I didn't even bother to take the cane. We walked down there and came back and some other things, and we walked almost 3/4 of a mile. I do feel a lot of tightness in the upper thigh and in the right above my knee after both of those occasions, which I may have again overdone it a little bit, but I'm gonna push myself. I can't help that. The walks were good. I felt great. My stride was good. I was constantly being told by Era to make sure I'm standing up straight, walking straight, trying to break some of the habits that I developed over the last 4 years. Friday, we had the follow up with my doctor, Dr. Dreamy, that's Dr. Davis, at Orlando Orthopedic, and he cleared me, took an x ray, which we'll show you, uh, examined my knee because I had been having some issues with my knee, feeling like it was in pain sometimes at night. And he said that's usually because of the nerve endings that are going through there, transmitting down toward your knee, and that should be cleared up. He gave me full clearance to go out and do my physical therapy outside, which I'll schedule, and we'll do some of that for you next week. So I'll tell y'all more about that in our next episode. So thanks a lot. Like, subscribe, make any comments. We'll get back with you.
See you on the next video.
There you go. See y'all.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, follow, and share, and make sure you click that bell button so you can get a notification when we upload a new video. Thanks again. Be safe. Bye.